Good evening and welcome back to occasional review and unboxing channel Everything Dinosaur. Today I've got an exceedingly large box to unbox from Everything Dinosaur. This parcel has just arrived today. Ordered this late on Friday, so it's only taken 2 working days to get here. Format in terms of video quality is likely to be a little different tonight because unfortunately the camera that I've been using to do my very irregular videos on is out of action, and on top of that this old camera phone is not compatible with my microphone, so I do apologise for any decidedly janky issues that occur during this video relating to the audio and the video, because for all this camera phone has a 50 megapixel camera, the quality is not the best, so please bear with me. This has arrived in a PNSO box, and it's been a slightly peculiar shape. It has been, very well considered in terms of how to pack it. Goodness me, there's a lot of cardboard here. By Everything Dinosaur, because the figures that I've ordered are unfortunately a peculiarly shaped bunch, even in a box, so it must cause Everything Dinosaur quite a headache. Dear me. To wrap these things, never mind unwrap them for you. So, Everything Dinosaur are expecting some further deliveries of stock this month. Goodness me. Wow, this is a big box. It's getting bigger. So, we have got, of course, some CBS figures expected. There's a lot of packing in here. Packing slip, of course. Put that away. It's got the information. So within this box we have Haolonggood's Torosaurus. I think I've gone for the less colourful version of this figure. We also have the fantastic iguanodon, his peculiar bumpy nose, but what an iguanodon. And finally we have Brontosaurus. This is one I've really been looking forward to. So everything's flying there, destroying the houseplants, the lot. So if you bear with me, I'll pop each of these out of the sleeves and we can have a quick look at them on camera, hopefully without destroying anything else or causing any further accidents. So as usual, Haolonggood figures are packaged in a lovely box with all the artwork on, and they really are classy, especially for the price of them. They're very, very good figures. I'm really looking forward to the Giganotosaurus coming out because that looks exceptional. But first up, I'm opening the Torosaurus. Torosaurus, of course, being a large and more solitary relative of Triceratops, slightly larger even than that dinosaur, looking at something the size of a bus. I don't have, of all the ceratopsians I've got, and I'm going to have to rejig the ceratopsian display shelf again, I do not have a Torosaurus yet. I've long looked at PNSOs, but this is Haolonggood's, and as you can see at a glance here, this is a really, really good take on the figure, and that's going to look lovely with Haolonggood's Triceratops and indeed all the other ceratopsians. So the thing with Haolonggood, they don't quite have the refinement, well, most of them don't quite have the refinement of detail that you'll get with PNSO, but they do have a lot more character, and that is extremely evident there with that Torosaurus. They also do ornithischians very well. Now, Iguanodon is one of my all-time favourite dinosaurs, and I know the mount in the Natural History Museum isn't correct. It's still in that Louis Dollo style kangaroo pose, at least it was last time I was down there, which is a long time ago now. But to see that looming over you is quite an experience. And I've gone for the orangey version of this Iguanodon, and this looks fantastic already. Yes, that is absolutely magnificent. Let's get it out of its wrapper. Now, Everything Dinosaur do have their own range of dinosaurs coming out, and of course they are packaged in all recyclable and renewable materials, so you don't get all of this, and to be honest I'll be happier with that, but you can see how beautiful this figure is and how unblemished it is being packaged like that. But I do hope that they will take a leaf out of Everything Dinosaur's book and go more renewable with that packaging. But that is a magnificent iguanodon. I was going to get this Brontosaurus out for you. People in my age group, Brontosaurus is of course a fairly iconic dinosaur, even though it was known to be a non-endemium for many decades before I was born. The name Brontosaurus was still used for Apatosaurus in all my childhood dinosaur books, and more importantly my mum's dinosaur childhood books, which is what got me into dinosaurs in the first place. So I'm really looking forward to this. I do believe that some will come with a base and some of them don't, so I'm not entirely sure how this will work. I know it's going to be a great big heavy figure. There is a base. The Apatosaurus is enormous, and this will be a far more refined sculpt. I do love the character of the Apatosaurus. So there is a magnificent big base at the end. It's like one of these heavy acrylic bases with a bit of foliage on there, nice fern, and there's some nice water effects on there. As you can see, it's hollowed out underneath to save weight. It's an excellent touch. I really like these bases that they're doing. And of course, they are bringing out an Ioneosaurus pair in slightly different sculpts this time, rather than the same sculpt in two different colours, which will come with the base in the package. And yes, Brontosaurus. Oh, what a beauty. That's absolutely magnificent. It is of course speculated that they didn't have a beak, but there's nothing to say they didn't have a thicker keratinised lip, and I'm perfectly happy with this reconstruction. That's absolutely stunning. So what I'll do is I'll get these all up and take photographs of them and talk a little bit more about each one, and I hope you'll continue to join me through that. Thank you. Right, here we have all three of those lovely figures out of the box and lined up ready to have a closer look at. So first up, here's the Torosaurus. Of course, each figure that Haolonggood releases comes in at least two different colour hues, so there is an alternative to this, but I'm really impressed with how finely blended and how naturalistic all the paintwork is on this, especially the detailing and the bright colours on the frill and on the face. It's really beautifully designed, and if you look in the jaws here, you've got a gloss finish and you've got the choanal openings sculpted on the roof of the mouth, and those teeth are also painted top and bottom too. Really is a fantastic Torosaurus. Excellent work from Haolonggood. Next up we have this absolutely fantastic Iguanodon, and I was really looking forward to this one because Iguanodon has always been one of my favourite dinosaurs. And as an ornithopod, which doesn't really have a huge amount of outstanding features, you know, it hasn't got the ornamentation that something like the Torosaurus has, it doesn't tend to get the respect it deserves. If you've ever seen a skeletal mount of Iguanodon, it was extraordinarily powerfully built, especially compared to some of the later hadrosaurs. And none of the figures of Iguanodon that have yet been released have really captured that adequately. This figure has one or two little minor anatomical issues, but they're really nothing in the broader context of how well designed this figure is, and it is the only Iguanodon figure I have ever seen which adequately captures how powerfully built and muscular this creature was. So it's really, really nice pose. You can see how thick they've made the neck there, and how broad the chest is, and how muscular the limbs are. When it comes down to the anatomy, there's a slightly peculiar point with this spike on my finger here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. And how broad the tail is. It's just an absolutely fantastic figure. It absolutely blows all other Iguanodons out of the water, as far as I'm concerned. It's far more pleasing than collectors, safaris, and Pianosaurus is beautiful, but it's a peculiar sort of hybrid between Mantellisaurus and Iguanodon. And this one, it's just got so much charm and character. Absolutely beautiful figure. And then finally, we have Brontosaurus. So again, there's two colour varieties of this one. I went for the more colourful version in this case. I do tend to go for more greys of the sauropods, and that's just nostalgic preference. But in this case, because the other version's quite similar to the Apatosaurus, I decided to go for the more brightly coloured one, and it is fantastic. I mean, it's really in your face, but look how beautifully designed those patterns are, and the colour tones. And the sculpt, I love the way the tail coils in this little spiral at the end. It's really, really nice. It just gives a bit of dynamism to this otherwise quite languid, gentle looking sauropod here. And I love the face as well. It reminds me a little bit of an eider duck. I think it's just the shape of the head. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Again, beautiful detailing all over. There's nothing overcut. There's nothing, sort of grating in terms of how deep the scales are or anything like that. Lovely base with it. Slightly peculiar design with this ledge that it's standing on, but it's a really nice touch to have included this with this figure. So I'll just pop these off to this side. I have one final figure to show you, which unfortunately, when I took the footage of the unboxing of this figure, I was quite unwell and couldn't use that footage. So this is a big thank you to my friend Dave for this beautiful Griju Ichthyosaurus, and apologies for my pronunciation of that. This is, of course, a PNSO figure, and I really, really love it. It's a late Triassic ichthyosaur. You can see it's quite primitive with the length of the pelvic fins there. Well, I suppose they're the rear legs, really, aren't they? But it's just an absolutely gorgeous figure, and I'm really, really pleased with it. And another nice touch with this one was it came with 2 bases, so it's easier to display than any of PNSO's other ichthyosaurs, and I'm really over the moon with that, so thank you, Dave. And thank you, Everything Dinosaur, for getting this parcel out to me as quickly as you did. Absolutely top work from them, as ever. And I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at these figures with me, and I hope to see you in the next video.